so don't say anything. So this is going to be, this is the first part of section 2-5, okay? And this is going to be about point slope form. We already know about slope intercept form because you could put lines into different equation forms, and you can change them back and forth using algebra, but in some cases it's better to use slope intercept form, in some cases it's better to use standard form, and in some cases it's better to use point slope form, okay? I like point slope the best, which we're going to get to. Okay, so what does slope intercept form look like? Anyone tell me? Will? Yeah, slope intercept form is just y equals mx plus b, where this is the slope, and what's wrong? You knew that?
Yeah, I knew that.
Oh, and this is the y-intercept. Huh? Y-intercept, y-intercept. And it's best used when you have the slope and y-intercept. When you have the slope and y-intercept, okay? You can use it when you don't have the slope and y-intercept, but you would have to find the slope and then figure out some other way to find the y-intercept, which we're going to do in a minute, okay? Then what we just talked about this morning with the those ones on the board, we have standard form, okay? Standard form of a linear equation, and standard form looks like this: ax plus, well, they use capital A. I should write capital A. Ax plus by equals c. So for an example, let's just write one of the examples that we had on the board. 5x minus 4y equals 20. And that's best. It's best, when would you use it? To find the x and y intercepts. Find x and y intercepts, and graphing the line, okay? Now this is not always the best, because like if 5 doesn't go evenly into 20 and 4 doesn't go evenly into 20, then it's kind of, you get ugly looking numbers and it's harder to graph, you know what I mean? Okay? So it's best when these numbers are both divisible into c, okay? But you can use it in other cases, but you could always change this equation into this equation, okay? We're going to talk about the last one, standard form, in a minute, okay? But I'm going to show you why standard form is a useful one, okay? So, I mean, sorry, not standard form. I meant point slope form, sorry. We already said point slope form, but we'll come back to this, okay? Well, let's just write down what point slope form is, okay? Point slope form. Does that look like slate? Slope. Point slope. What's that word? Slope. Point slope. Point slope form. Looks like this. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. How many of you have seen that before? How many of you have seen that before? Okay, so that's kind of new, right? Okay. And I know for those of you who had Mr. Lemke last year, he doesn't like point slope form. But we like it at the high school level, we like it because it's used a whole lot. It's just an easy way to find the equation of a line, okay? And if you take like calculus or something someday, they'll say, find the equation of this line, and they don't care what form it's in because they figure you know how to do the algebra to change from one form into another form. And so point-slope form is usually the easiest way, the easiest form to get an equation into, okay? So say you have, so let's do a couple little examples. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. Write an equation in slope. I'm going to give you whiteboards in a minute and have you guys do some. Intercept form for m equals -3 and through 1, -4. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. Oh, I have form. For m equals -3 through 1, -4. Anyone tell me how to do that? Well, what I would do is I'd write down the equation y equals, this is slope-intercept form, mx plus b. Plug in your -3. How do I find b? It's not -4. Do you know? Have you ever done this before? Okay. So to find b, what you have to do is plug in this point for x and y. Okay? So I'm going to plug in this point. This is y. This is x. And I'm going to solve this equation for b. Right? And so I have -4 equals -3 times x, which is 1, plus b, and then I have to get b by itself. Okay? So I get -4 equals, what's -3 times 1? -3 plus b, and then I'm going to add 3 to both sides, plus 3 plus 3. So I get b equals -1. Right? Yes? No? And so now you know a slope, you know the y-intercept, and you can rewrite this equation as y equals -3x minus 1. Do you understand that? Okay? So when you're given a slope and you're given a point, you then plug those things in, you find b, and then you can rewrite the equation with that. Okay? So now I'm going to pause here for station identification. And while you, so you can see the example, find the equation in point-slope form for the slope equals 1/2, and through the point 2, 5. So you guys try, see if you could come up with the equation, find the line, find the equation of the line, equation for a line when m equals 1/2 and that goes through that point. Okay? Ready, set, whoops. So you should have gotten y equals 1/2 x plus 4. Yes? Yes? And if you didn't get that right, you plug in 5 for y, 1/2 x, 2 for x, plus b. And so this makes 1, right, equals 5 plus b. So b equals 4. And then you just, you have the slope, you have the y-intercept, and you can rewrite your equation. Okay? Now, sometimes all they'll give you is the 2 points. Okay? So, for example, I'm going to do an example first, and then I'm going to ask you guys to do one. Okay? So sometimes they'll just give you like 2 points, 3, 8, and 1, 4. Okay? And they'll say, find the equation of the line through those points in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. And so the first thing you'd have to do is find the slope. Huh? And so a lot of you guys on that last quiz, oh, I haven't given your quiz back yet. I'll get it back later. But a couple of you guys still don't know how to find the slope, which is important that you know how to do. Call this x1, this y1. Call this x2 and this y2. It doesn't really matter which you call which, as long as you're consistent. So if you call this x2, you got to call this y2. And the slope formula, if you remember, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? If you don't have that somewhere in your notes, you should write it down. So in this case, my slope is going to be 4 minus 8 divided by 1 minus 3, which is negative 4 over negative 2, which is what? What's 2? Okay? So now I know that the slope of my line is 2, right? That's m. Now I have a point and I have the slope. You can use either point and you'll get the same y-intercept, okay? So now I do what I did before. So I pick a point, either this one or this one, it does not matter, okay? And I'm going to go y equals mx plus b. And I'm going to plug in 2 for the slope and 3 and 8 for x and y. So y is 8, okay? 2, x is 3 plus b. See what I just did? Okay? So now I get 8 equals 6 plus b. So subtract 6, subtract 6. So b equals 2. And so now I could rewrite my equation as y equals the slope 2x plus 2. You understand that? Okay. Now, just to make sure that this equation is true, what I could do is take this point, plug it into that equation, and see if it makes it true. So this is just a check to show you that this is the correct equation. Or I'm going to take 1 and plug it in here, and take 4 and plug it in here, and see if it makes it true. Well, 4, does that equal 2? 2 times 1 plus 2. Is that a true statement? Yes. Okay. So I think I have the right equation of my line. Because any point that I pick on that line should work in that equation. Get that? Okay. So now it's your turn. Okay. I know I'm going kind of fast. So find the equation of the line. Let's just get a new page. Find the equal of the line in slope-intercept form through, and through is spelled like that, not T-H-R-U. -1, -3, and -4, +19. Okay? So the first thing you're going to do is 1, find the slope. Find slope. And 2, plug in x, y, and m to find b. You could write down these steps. And 3, write your equation. Go ahead, give that a shot. It's going to disappear when I pause this, but that's okay. Where's my pauser? Oh, there it is. So let me just first find the slope. So the slope, I think a lot of you got the slope. You go 19 minus -3, right? Divided by -4 minus -2. What's 19 minus -3? +22. What's negative 4 minus negative 2? Negative 2. What's 22 divided, oh, I messed up. What's 22 divided by negative 2? Negative 11. So this is the slope, right? I messed up. And so maybe some of you did get this right. Okay? So then I'm going to go y equals m negative 11x plus b. And I'm going to plug in either of these 2 points. Doesn't matter which one. Okay? I'm going to just take the first one. So I'm going to plug in negative 3 for y equals negative 11. I'm going to plug in negative 2 for x plus b. Okay? And then you get negative 3, negative 11 times negative 2 makes 22 plus b. Right? Did I do that right? I think I did. And then I'm going to subtract 22 from both sides. And I get b equals negative 25. You guys got that?
Well, we changed it. We got it. We got it.
Oh, very good, very good. So you should, your final equation should have been y equals negative 11x minus 25. Okay? So that's kind of a pain in the neck, right? A lot of steps. Yes? Yes, maybe no. So what we use for this same idea is something called point-slope form, okay? And so point-slope form, going back to that, where's that graphic organizer that I had? Point-slope form looks like this, okay? And it's best if you know the slope. If you know the slope, it's best if you know the slope, know slope, or can easily find the slope, and a point, okay? So, for example, with that last problem, okay, we knew the slope, let's say we got the slope to be negative 11, right? And I knew a point on that line was, I told you a point on that line was negative 2, comma, what did I say, negative 2, comma, negative 3? Negative 2, comma, negative 3. I plug these points in for x1 and y1. It doesn't matter whether you pick the point negative 2, negative 3, or you had another point on there, negative 4, 19. I could have chosen either one. Okay? So my equation in point slope form would have just looked like y minus negative 3, because that's y1, equals m, which is negative 11, times x minus negative 2. Okay? And then I simplify that to y plus 3 equals negative 11. What's a minus? A minus? Plus x plus 2. And this is that same equation that we came up with, but it's in point slope form. Same equation, different form. I could change this into slope intercept form by multiplying this through and subtracting 3, and I would have gotten y equals negative 11x minus 22 minus 3, which would have been minus 25, which is what I got. Do you follow that? Okay? But it's okay to leave your equation. This equation is in point slope form, and if it says leave your equation in point slope form, that's your equation in point slope form. Okay? And you just leave it just like that. Yes? Okay. So, you need some time to write things down? You want me to pause? You want me to tell you a joke? Did I tell you that one already? Why did the bull go bankrupt?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, never mind. Why do elephants paint their toenails red? So they can hide in cherry trees. What? Have you ever seen an elephant in a cherry tree? Have you ever seen an elephant in a cherry tree? See, it's working. Okay. That's kind of a weird joke. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Or because they want to be elephants.
That one's better.
Do you know what you get if you cross an elephant with a rhinoceros? Elefino. That's elefino. Okay. Elefino, you know. Okay. Okay, let's move on then. So we're going to do an example, then I'm going to give you a chance on your whiteboards. Must participate, okay? Write the equation in point up form for if m equals -5 through 3, 4. So I'm just going to do one example, and then I'll give you an easy one. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So all I do for this is I plug in my m and my x and my y. Easy enough. So I'm going to get, if I were to plug that in, I get y minus 4 equals m, which is -5, times x minus 3. That's all you have to do. Okay? That's it. You have a slope, you have a point, you just stick them in there into the formula. Write that one down, Jacob Berger. Okay? As an example, that'd be a good example to write down. Now, if you wanted that to be just to show you, I could just as easily transform this equation into slope-intercept form by distributing through -5x. You have to multiply this times this, which gives you what?
15.
Positive 15. And then I would add the 4 to both sides, right? And I get y equals -5x plus 19. Okay, now it's in slope-intercept form. Okay? Now it's in slope-intercept form, but this equation is in point-slope form, and that's where I want you to leave it. Okay? So now your turn. Okay? Write the equation in point-slope form for m equals 1/2 through -2, 1. Okay, so that's all you're going to do. Write an equation in point-slope form for that. Whoops. That's your final answer.
But then if you want to graph that, don't you have to turn it into
No, you don't have to graph it. Watch. Hey, which is the next thing we're going to do, okay?
if you want to graph it.
If you want to graph it, right? You know that it has a point. Shh, you're going to have to do this next. You know that it has a point, -2, 1. -2 up 1. You know that it has a slope of 1/2. So instead of starting at the y-intercept, I'm going to start at that point, and I'm going to use the slope. I'm going to go over 2 and up 1, right? And then I could graph my line through those points, right? So then I could just take my line and put it through those 2 points, kind of like that. See? Okay? So instead of using the y-intercept, you use the point and then use the slope to graph it. Which brings us to a couple more things. I know it's kind of a lot of teaching, but there's a lot to learn here. So, and it is block day. So say I were to give you this. Y equals, not y equals, y minus 2 equals 3 times x minus 5. And I say identify the slope and points on the line. Who can tell me what's the point? Just raise your hand. What's the point, Charlie?
Is it 5,
Yep,
comma,
not negative
-2?
2,
Just 2.
just 2, right? What's the slope?
3 over 1.
3 over 1. Could you graph that easily? Could you graph that easily? Gotta pay attention. You're gonna fall behind her. Okay. You try. Well, let's not. What if I have y plus 4 equals 1/2 x plus 2? Identify the slope and y-intercept. What's the slope, Andres? What's the slope? Very good. What's the point on the line? This is a little tricky. What's the point? Take.
Would it be -2 and then 4? Or
Ah.
-4?
You the man. Okay, very nice. Okay. Hey, I should give you a point, shouldn't I? Should I give you a point? Okay. So yes, because these are both positive, that means that these, before I plugged them in, must have both been negative. So again, if I were graphing this, I would go to the point -2, down 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And then from that point, I would go over 2 and up 1, and then I could graph my line looking like that, right? Okay? So it's not that bad, is it? It's kind of quicker in some cases. Huh? So I'm going to give you one more try to find on your whiteboards, okay? Find the slope and y-intercept for y plus 3 equals -2. Not the y-intercept, I'm sorry. Find the slope and the point. And the point. Go ahead, write it on your whiteboard. Take a second. Am I paused here? Find the equation of the line parallel to y equals 3x minus 7, and that passes through So this is just one little extra thing. It's actually pretty easy. Please pay attention or you're not going to know how to do this on the worksheet or in your homework. Okay? What do you know about lines that are parallel? What about their slopes? They have the exact same slope. So what is the slope of this line? 3. Okay? So you just look at this line and you say the slope is 3. Right? Now you just plug both of those things into your point slope formula. Okay, and you don't need to put it in slope intercept form, point slope. Y minus 10 equals 3 times x minus 2. And that's it. Okay? That's all you have to do. Is that hard? Okay, so your turn. Find the equation of line parallel to, I'm going to change that equation, parallel to y equals 1/3 x plus 2 through I said -1, 5. Okay? So, whoops, where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? How are you supposed to do that? Where'd my stuff go? There. Okay? give that one a shot on your whiteboard right now. Okay? Ready, go. You should have gotten that y minus 5 equals 1/3 x what? Plus 1. Right? Questions? Easy enough? Okay. Last thing. Okay. What if I said find the equation of the line? Okay. Find the equation of the line perpendicular to. Okay. What if I said perpendicular to this instead? Okay. How would that be different? How would that be different? Cole?
Would the slope have to be anything that's not 1/3?
Not anything that's not 1/3. What would the new slope be? Hannah?
Yeah, oh, like opposite.
Are you looking for Katira? She left over. She's down there. Okay. Go ahead, Anna.
The opposite is
So what would be the slope?
negative.
Yep. Just -3 over 1 or -3, right? So you'd have y minus 5 equals -3 times x plus 1. That's the only thing that would change, okay? We'll try one more practice problem and then we'll be done, okay? Ooh, this is a really hard one. Let's try it anyway, okay? Last one. Find the equation of the line
In what form? Yeah.
in point slope form perpendicular to to 3x minus 5y equals 6, passing through, Charlie, I know that's not how you spell through, but it's shorter. Passing through -4, -7, okay? I'm going to stop here. I think you know what I think I'm going to do? Yeah, instead of doing the book work, I'm going to make the book work tomorrow, okay? So I'm going to give you this worksheet to do as an assignment in class, and then you have a Math Excel assignment for home, okay? Is that good? Is that better? So that way you don't need your book. All we're going to do is work individually on this worksheet, and then you'll do the book work, the Math Excel. I'll change it on my Schoology page. Okay? So 1, 2, 3. You can put the whiteboard back. I'll give everyone points for participating appropriately. I know you did. Whoa! Okay, who's throwing the stuff?
That was me.
Okay, I got the worksheet. You don't need your book. You can work on that, and then when you get done with that, you got Math Excel homework to do. Okay? The book work we'll save for tomorrow. Got it? Got it. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll give you a quiz back in. Let me just give you points for whiteboard work?
Oh, like this equation?
Right. And then I'm gonna see my video. Everyone by Jake Aldrich, you get points for participating in with whiteboards. Nick should, Charlie should, Jacob should, Jacob Burns should, I guess, Kantira, yes, Cole, yes, Gia, yes, Amy, yes, Jessica, yes, Mandy, yes, Josh, yes, Meadow, yes, yes, 5. So I have the answers to this. If you want to know if you're getting them right or not, you can come up and check with me. And let's see about work. So I don't really need to see any work except for the last 3 problems where you have to find the slope, right? Should be pretty quick. Yeah. Yeah. Always that. So you guys should be able to get most of this worksheet done in class, right? And it's not that bad. Should and then you can check your answers, and then you can start. And I think so. What time we get up? 9? 10 after? 9:09. So yeah, you should be able to get it mostly done in class. And I have all the answers, so if you want to come up here and check, you can. Oh.
my board.